And
Mark Sicko.
you count to 10 and then I'll stop.
Ow! Ow!
Count to 10.
Ow!
10.
Ow! Ow! No! No!
Want to show your hole?
Yeah.
Here it is.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
are you touching it?
You know if I'm touching it, you can feel it.
Don't touch it.
I'm
It's
showing
my
it.
hole.
You're
I'm
not
scared.
that sensitive.
I'm not that sensitive, but here's my hole. All right. So a lot of people were curious about what's going on with my hole. Why don't I like people touching my hole? And they just generally want to know everything about my hole.
I want to know about your hole too. Tell me about
You
your
know
hole.
about my hole.
Okay, that's weird.
Hey, you opened that one
Oh my
up.
gosh.
All right.
And besides his hole, we also wanted to talk about what he can feel inside.
Yes.
Because Cole
inside.
can feel his stomach. And so this
Yeah.
is about to get so confusing.
Well, the end, the beginning will be less confusing because this stuff is pretty straightforward.
Yes.
But the other stuff, I don't know. We'll see what we can do there.
Well, Cole will, because I'm so confused with his function.
Yes.
I still don't know, so there's that.
Neither do I. It's all a mystery to all of us.
It is.
Yeah. But yes, this is my trach hole, or colloquially known as Cole's hole.
Cole's hole.
Is that the hashtag for my hole?
Hashtag Cole's hole.
Hashtag don't touch Cole's hole. So when I was first injured, I actually could still breathe on my own for a while. But something interesting about spinal cord injuries is most of the damage to the actual spinal cord occurs later on when you actually start losing function, is when the bruising comes in and the swelling. It's not the initial injury.
But also, I feel like when you do have an injury, you do have a lot of swelling, and over time that swelling goes down, and a lot of people get function back because the swelling has decreased.
Yeah, so the initial swelling creates a lot of the issues, and then after that swelling goes down, you start getting some function back. I was able to breathe on my own after my injury up until I was in the hospital, about to be rolled into the surgery. And literally, as they were rolling me into surgery, I started going, like losing my ability to breathe on my own. So they're like, all right, we got to trach him. We got to get it in there. And so they put this trach in my neck. It was a lot of fun, y'all. It was a great time.
I have a question. Do you think that you started losing the ability to breathe going back to surgery because you literally couldn't breathe anymore, or because you were starting to panic?
I mean, I'm sure that there was like a level of anxiety and alarm there too, but largely I was on like so many drugs, I hardly knew what was happening, you know? It's all a fog. I just know that I was scared, so yeah, I'm sure there was panic, but I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And I ended up having that trach for about a month. It was really hard trying to communicate when you couldn't speak. I had to like either spell things out through a spelling board, or like people would just try to read my lips, which everyone is worse at reading lips than they think they are. I promise.
Oh yeah, it's hard.
And everybody wants to exaggerate it, so they're like, I'm like, just say how you normally say it so I can actually read your lips. You do that when I'm on the phone sometimes. You're like behind like, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying. No idea.
But I'm confused though, you were
What?
reading people's lips?
No, people were reading my lips, and everybody sucks at reading lips.
Got it, got it.
Yeah.
But were you exaggerating?
No.
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 Not that you know of.
Oh wait, so maybe I was.
You're talking about yourself.
I'm talking about myself? Anyway, whatever. I just dogged myself.
You totally did. Trying to come at me, but just came at yourself, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
But it was amazing the first time I was able to speak again after having the trach put in.
I'm totally deflated.
16, 17.
Oh,
There you go.
it's okay. That's
That's
normal
cool.
too.
That's what happened. You are the gross, icky stuff.
What's up, guys?
He's talking.
Oh my God. Cole, guess what? I'm videotaping this, Cole, and I'm going to send this to your friends. Say something to your friends.
I love all of you guys so much.
So cool.
Cole, are you gonna miss us using the alphabet board and all that stuff?
No, I hate the alphabet board.
Yeah.
I suck at reading lips, by the way.
I do good. I do pretty good. Hey.
Does seeing that video still bring you like tears, or like do you remember that moment?
I do remember that moment, and I remember being surprised at my own reaction.
Yeah.
Because like I started talking, and as soon as I heard my voice, I literally didn't know what to do. I was like, oh!
Oh my gosh, you still sound the same, just like a little
I know.
deeper.
Oh, what's up, guys? Man, that was, I felt like my world had opened up a little bit. That's the interesting thing about spinal cord injuries is like, you are in the worst space of your life right after your spinal cord injury. That's no doubt. So when you have little victories like this, even though I still couldn't breathe on my own, like I still had to wear this trach all the time, but just being able to have a voice again was like awesome. I guess that's kind of poignant right now with everything that's happening now. It's like,
use your voice.
Use your voice.
It's amazing. You're blessed to have a voice.
and it's powerful when it's heard, when you can see that people are hearing your voice, and you're just like, oh, yes, finally. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic, whole other topic.
Well, let's talk about like you getting that removed.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
After a while, Cole, can't have that trach forever. I mean, people do because they aren't able to breathe on their own. The doctors knew that Cole had the ability to breathe on his own. They just had to get him to that level through breathing therapy or respiratory therapy.
A weaning process.
Yeah, a weaning process. So explain how that was for you.
I rehabbed at Shepherd in Atlanta. I had a machine hooked up to my throat that would breathe for me, literally. Like it would inflate my lungs and it would deflate. And they would change the percentages on those inflations to be like a higher percentage oxygen or a lower percentage. And then I would go from taking huge breaths to taking a little bit smaller until I was at the point where I could breathe normally. Before I would go like, I was like, that's not how people normally, I just got a little lightheaded doing that.
Did you?
Like a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
It was weird though, the first time when I was at VCU, their process was just unplug me and then just like see how long I could last. That was the scariest part of my day when they came in and I had to do that because they would literally take it off and then just say, all right, let's see how long we can go. I would be there for like 30 seconds or a minute just going for as long as I could. I felt like I was drowning. It was awful.
That's scary.
And then when we got to the point where we could take it out, what you have to do is go to the ICU overnight and they plug it so that you're breathing under your own power. And if you can make it through the night without any issues, then they're ready to take it out. And we have a video of this as well. Here's a little warning. It's an open hole in the neck, so just, what's the right word?
Viewer discretion.
Viewer discretion advised, that's what I'm going for.
Any last words, Cole, before you go to ICU? Okay, that's profound. Got anything
Come on,
to say?
Cole, wow.
Say something. I'm so weird. Well, off he goes. Toodaloo, Cole. Good luck. Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, Cole. Are you excited about them taking the trach out?
There it goes.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Cough, 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 cough.
All right.
See that thing
Yeah.
right there?
Oh my goodness.
You want to put your finger in?
No, I do not. Yay! Goodbye. We'll never see it again.
Yay.
So watching that video,
Yeah.
I can deal with it just because like that's what I study and stuff. But like I know it's hard for a lot of viewers to watch, and we apologize. But it's important to know like the kind of trauma that goes with that hole and why it's such a sensitive area for Cole and why he needs people to respect it and not bother it or touch or anything.
Yeah.
But could you feel that being pulled out of your throat?
Yeah, I could feel it, but it happened very quickly, thankfully. And I don't want to think about it. Yeah, it happened very quickly and they covered it up. But really where the trauma came in was after they pulled that out, then they would have to cover it. Because obviously you can't just have an open hole. And those bandages had to be replaced every day, and sometimes twice a day. That was very, very painful because the adhesive was so strong so that it wouldn't fall off. And right after a spinal cord injury, all of your senses are heightened where you can still feel. So when they would take that tape off, it was super painful. And we also have a video of that.
Yes.
Don't film
Okay,
it.
go. I'm not. I can't.
Seriously. Ow. Ow. Ow.
Okay. Okay.
Ow.
You're doing good.
Ow.
Very good. Why are you
Ah.
laughing?
Ow. Stop. I hate this. Well, how much more is left?
Like this much more.
Aw, I feel so bad watching you in pain.
Yeah, well, you were laughing the first time you watched it.
No, I wasn't.
No, I was too.
I wasn't laughing though.
What?
I didn't laugh. Your mom showed me the first time, and you were upstairs. I remember watching it. I was like, oh my gosh, like
I could
that's
hear
so
them.
Sad.
I know. I could hear them playing it downstairs. Like, oh, I know exactly what they're watching.
Mhm.
That tape.
Strong.
Like, I'm like laughing, but I'm also like crying because I'm actually in pain laughing. So it's like, oh, please don't do it.
I mean, do you have any scars around the area where the tape was? I think you have a little scar here and a little scar there from where the tape might have been.
That's just from tape. So I have scars from tape.
That's how strong they are.
Yeah, and that's kind of hard to wrap your head around. It's like, why would they do that around a sensitive area that's trying to heal, but they're trying to protect it as best they can?
Yeah. Besides, you know, the trauma that's related to your hole, why else are you sensitive about that area?
For whatever reason, I have it in my head, and I know it's not true, but I feel like the skin there is really thin. Like, well, it looks like it's thinner. I mean, it is a hole in there after all. So like, I feel like whenever someone's messing around in that area, a little like slip and their finger goes where it's not supposed to go, and maybe it'll open something up and I'll just die. I don't know.
But there's scar tissue built up there, and so if anything, I feel like that skin is thicker due to the scar tissue. But
and that's
I'm no doctor, so I don't know that for sure. So don't quote me on that.
I know it's fine for people to touch it. I just don't like it.
Oh, we get it. And then with water, the first time you went in the water, you thought that.
Oh yeah, this is true. Like, I was real scared to take my first shower with the trach in, and we had to have a nurse stand beside me with what's called an ambu bag. It's called an ambu bag, right?
I have no clue.
You'll see it like in movies where like paramedics show up and they have a mask on someone's face and someone's sitting there squeezing a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called an ambu bag. And so she was literally squeezing air into my lungs for like the 10 minutes that we were in the shower so I could have my first shower in a month. And I was just doing everything in my power to stay calm because I was thinking, if any of this water goes into my trach hole, I'm gonna drown. There's no way that can happen. I was assured of that, but it's still scary to think of.
Yeah, it is scary.
Yeah.
So yeah, that explains Cole's trach hole.
Cole's hole.
Yeah, Cole's hole.
Hashtag don't touch.
Hashtag don't touch Cole's hole. Sometimes I touch it by accident, like when I'm trying to button his shirt.
Sometimes not on accident.
No, I don't touch it on purpose, Cole. At first I didn't know. He didn't tell me at first. It wasn't that I would like mess with it, but like sometimes I would touch it by accident, like, but I didn't think anything of that area, so. It took him a while to finally explain to me like why. And before we move on to the next subject, I feel like I should talk about the elephant in the room. My hair.
Oh yeah, it's so much shorter.
I know. Okay, we cut it because my hair is just like damaged in one area, and I wanted to like kind of start over and get the dead ends off, and so I cut it.
Oh. Whoa. Spasm.
Spasm.
Ugh. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so we cut it, and so I'm still getting used to it. I'm not used to my hair being this short, but I like it. My mom.
I like it. I like it too. I think it's nice. My favorite part's the back. I like the back.
Yeah, it's really fluffy.
Yeah.
A different curl pattern in the back than in the front. It's so annoying to deal with sometimes. But anyways, I diverted. Let's go back to this topic.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, our last video was about sensation and what I could feel and what I could use. Now, that was on my skin, and this is gonna get a little confusing, but I can feel underneath my skin in a lot of other places. My stomach, for example, is one of those places. I can feel when I get hungry. I can feel when someone is pushing on my stomach. I can feel that like deep pressure, but I can't feel the skin. Do with that what you will. Good luck.
And you can feel when you have a stomach ache. You can feel when like, I don't know, I guess when you eat and you know how sometimes like your stomach rumbles because like the food's moving through your intestines. You can feel that.
Yes. Mostly what I feel though, the sensation of when like your foot is just waking up after being asleep and you get those pins and needles. I have that from pretty much my waist down all the time. Oh, how do I describe it? To me, it feels like just a cascade of really small little fireflies.
It's like a little electricity going through his legs all the time. He feels that all the time.
It's like the muted firing of 1,000,000 synapses.
Yeah. It's weird because like you can feel your legs that way, but you don't have proprioception. So if Cole closed his eyes and I moved his leg, he doesn't know that I'm moving his leg, but he can still feel his leg. It's kind of amazing.
I have an idea of where my body is in my head. So like right now, I think I know where my legs are. And if Charisma were to move my leg from here all the way over there, I would still think I know where my leg was. But I have no idea. I have
Wait,
no
close
idea.
your eyes.
Wait, you gonna do something?
Yeah, close your
Alright,
eyes.
here we go.
And so if I go like this,
Well, oh my, now you're making me spin.
now your leg
Jeez.
literally.
Ugh.
I tried to lift it and it went like this and snapped back.
Really?
Like it did not like that. Yeah, it just went back.
It's got an attitude. Snap back.
Rude today. Nah, you probably just need to stretch.
So I hope we answered a ton of like sensation questions.
You get the
and,
chills. Why you
like,
got the chills?
I don't know, because you're so beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your sentence. Go on.
I was just saying, hopefully that helps people understand a little bit about spinal cord injury and sensation. Also, the trauma around Cole's hole, hashtag don't touch.
Do you guys have any other questions about like things that we haven't covered in terms of Cole's function, feeling, sensation, holes, whatever?
Yeah, all my holes.
Yeah.
We can do a video on each hole.
Oh no, oh my gosh. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions. You can comment in the comments below.
Yeah, down there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to...
Was that your part?
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead, restart.
Oh, scratch. Okay, thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay. Man, you
I
messed
said it out loud.
No, but you could have kept going, and then you said, "Oh, like it was awkward or something."
Thanks
one more
for
time.
watching.
Nope, start over. Rewind.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Cool.
What's wrong with me today, man?
I just want to end the video.
All right, thanks for watching.
Wait, my eyes are watering now. Hold on.
No.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay positive.
Yeah, we did it.
Finally.
We did it.